Hey y'all, just a warning. You might want to grab yourself a strong drink for this one, because it's a doozy. Let's get on into the story. It was a Friday evening in Victoria, British Columbia, February 1st, 2008. The house on Unsolved Place was empty, freshly constructed, still smelling faintly of paint and varnish. Hardwood floors gleamed under the fading light of the Pacific Northwest winter. Lyndsay Buziak, 24, walked inside. A professional, ambitious, determined young woman. She was there to show a property to prospective buyers that she had never met. 17 minutes later, she was dead, stabbed multiple times, over 40 wounds. The buyers, they vanished without a trace. This wasn't random violence. It was precise and calculated. Lyndsay Buziak grew up in a close-knit family. Her father, Jeff Buziak, and her mother provided a nurturing environment that emphasized independence, responsibility, and ambition. And friends described her as bright, self-assured, and fiercely determined. And from a young age, she displayed a natural curiosity about people, what motivated them, how they thought, how they moved throughout the world. She excelled in school, participated in sports, and maintained a wide circle of friends. Social but thoughtful, she had a balance of charm and focus that made her stand out. This foundation of self-confidence and awareness would later shape her professional life, and perhaps inadvertently put her in the path of danger. You see, by her early 20s, Lyndsay had joined a real estate company in Victoria. She quickly demonstrated a rare combination of discipline and insight. Some of her specialties were high-end residential properties, personalized client engagement, understanding subtle cues about buyers' preference, and crafting showings that appealed to both emotion and logic. She prided herself on being meticulous. Every contract, every showing, every note was organized. She was ambitious, but not reckless. Always professional. Her coworkers noticed her dedication. Her clients loved her honesty and energy. And her father, Jeff, often marveled at her drive. She had plans. She wanted to travel. She wanted her career to keep growing. She had personal milestones that she wanted to reach, a life she had carefully envisioned. Now, outside of work, Lyndsay was just as active and engaged. These are some of the things that she enjoyed. Fitness and outdoor activities, often hiking or running along Victoria's waterfront trails. Social gatherings with close friends, though she maintained a very tight circle that she truly trusted. Fashion, design, and attention to aesthetics, which made her an excellent real estate agent for staging homes. And spending time with family, particularly her father, who remained a confidant and supporter. She was also in a relationship with Jason Zylo, whose family owned the real estate company where she worked. Young and ambitious, their romance combined professional collaboration with personal trust. Jason described her as grounded, smart, fiercely independent. They balanced each other really, really well. She motivated him professionally, and he provided steady support personally. Her life was full, active, connected, and thriving. Days before her murder, Lyndsay received a call on her cell phone from a woman with a strong accent, possibly Spanish or Eastern European. The woman claimed she and her husband were relocating to Victoria area and wanted to view a property Lyndsay was responsible for. The call came from a prepaid phone, and it was untraceable. Caller insisted Lyndsay personally conduct the showing. No other agent, no other broker. Lyndsay expressed unease. She told Jason that it felt strange. She trusted her instincts. She asked him to stay nearby during the showing. So, parked down the street, ready to intervene if necessary. And around 5:30 p.m., Lyndsay arrived at the vacant home on Saanich Police. Moments later, a couple approached the house, well-dressed, calm, and very professional in their appearance. And they entered, and the door closed behind them. 17 minutes later, Jason got worried after failed phone calls, so he approached the house. He found the front door locked and circled to the back. He entered and discovered Lyndsay upstairs in the master bedroom. She had been stabbed over 40 times. No signs of forced entry or robbery. The couple was gone. They left no trace. Now, the police reports described the suspects as a tall man, roughly 6 feet, and well-dressed. A woman in her mid-30s to 40s, dark hair, and again, a professional appearance. They were both calm and composed, not in a hurry and not panicking. The prepaid phone used to set up the appointment was discarded immediately afterward, never to be used again. Investigators have publicly stated they believe the attack was targeted. Authorities explored several possibilities. Maybe it was a professional rivalry. Maybe someone was jealous of her rising career, having orchestrated it. Maybe it was a personal motive. Did someone she knew harbor resentment or obsession? Possibly an organized crime or external connections. Some theorists have speculated about links to organized crime networks, though these were unproven. And the attack was very methodical. It was planned, it was precise, and it was executed very efficiently. Investigators noted the excessive stabbing could indicate rage. Some experts argue it could also be symbolic or designed to send a message. But to whom? Despite exhaustive investigation, there still have been no arrests, no identified suspects, and no public charges. Jeff Buziak, Lyndsay's father, has remained active in advocating for the case. He organizes memorial walks, meets with police regularly, and pushes for transparency and renewed investigative efforts. Lyndsay's friends remember her warmth, her energy, and her ambition. They describe a woman who lit up the room as soon as she walked in, and who cared deeply about her work and those around her. She had a future she looked forward to building. but her death left a void in both personal and professional circles. And the questions that still remain: who were the couple that entered the house? And why target her so specifically, so efficiently? Was the excessive violence personal, symbolic, or was it both? And how did the suspects evade capture entirely, leaving almost no forensic trail? It's like they completely turned into ghosts. The footage, phone records, and witness statements exist, but the case remains cold in the public eye. And yet, investigators maintain it is active. Lyndsay Buziak's murder is studied for how professional life and ambition can intersect with danger, the psychology of targeted killings using deception and planning, and the limitation of modern forensic investigation when perpetrators take meticulous precautions. Oh, her story is definitely chilling because it's so ordinary. A young professional building a life taken in minutes by unknown actors. Until the people responsible are found, her murder remains one of Canada's most haunting unsolved crimes. Yo, y'all ready for a 2-for-1 tonight? Sounds good to me. Let's get into the second story. The night was thick, heavy with fog that swallowed sound itself. Somewhere on the outskirts of the city, a lone woman hurried along the dimly lit streets, glancing over her shoulder as if she could sense a shadow trailing her. She didn't know it yet, but tonight would change everything. A single wrong step, a single stranger observing all of her movements, could alter her life forever. And hours later, a call would come to the police station. A disappearance. A case that would haunt the city and grip the entire nation. But for now, she was just a face in the mist, unaware of the danger closing in. Emily Hartman was 28 years old, a freelance journalist with a small downtown apartment. She had the kind of life that looked ordinary on the surface. Morning coffee at her favorite corner cafe, walks along the river, and evenings spent typing stories until late. Friends described her as meticulous, ambitious, fiercely independent. She loved photography, small concerts, and the kind of quiet weekends most people ignored. But beneath her calm exterior, she was determined to uncover the truths that others avoided. Her career was modest but promising. Local exposés, investigative reports on city corruption, and interviews with people who often wished to remain anonymous. Emily's dedication made her respected, but it also left her exposed. You see, it began on a Thursday. Emily left her apartment at 7:45 a.m., coffee in hand, her camera over her shoulder. She texted her best friend, "Hey, you want to catch up tonight?" Then disappeared into bustling streets. By noon, she was at City Hall conducting an interview with a minor whistleblower tied to a construction scandal. Emily was calm, professional, but her notes hinted at unease, a sense that something in her investigation was bigger than she ever realized. And later, she called her editor, saying she might stay late. No one thought much of it, but by evening, however, Emily was missing. Her apartment was still locked, her belongings were untouched, and her phone lay on the kitchen counter. One last unsent message lingering on the screen. I see it now. Detective Marcus Leland was assigned to the case. He was a veteran, he was patient, and he was very methodical. He sensed this was no ordinary disappearance. And initial investigations, well, they turned up little. Surveillance cameras captured Emily walking home, but there were gaps. Minutes where footage was inexplicably missing. Witnesses remembered a tall, hooded man loitering near her building, but his face was nothing but a blur. So Leland pieced together a timeline. Interviews with neighbors revealed a pattern. Someone had been observing Emily for weeks. Packages that she didn't remember receiving, cars parked outside for hours, an unfamiliar figure glimpsed in reflections on windows. And 2 weeks later, a jogger discovered a camera bag near the river. Inside, well, it was Emily's camera. The memory card, miraculously intact, contained photos that would chill investigators. The images began as ordinary street shots, empty sidewalks, city buildings at night, but then, in every frame, a shadow appeared, a figure, always out of focus, always following her. Someone had been documenting her movements with meticulous attention. Forensic analysis confirmed it. Emily had been being stalked every day, every hour, and the stalker had intimate knowledge of her routines, her habits, and even her journalism schedule. Detectives began reviewing Emily's past contacts, and one name repeatedly surfaced: Daniel K., a former acquaintance known for obsession over Emily's work. And Daniel had a history of stalking, digital intrusion, and manipulative behavior. He had access to people Emily investigated, giving him insight into her articles. Friends described him as charming, yet controlling, a man who couldn't accept boundaries. Interviews revealed chilling details. Messages Emily had dismissed, photos she hadn't noticed, a presence that seemed benign but had sinister undertones. Leland suspected that Daniel's fixation had escalated into something very dangerous. Investigators conducted digital sweeps, emails, phone records, social media, and each breadcrumb pointed toward Daniel. But the case was delicate. Evidence had to be irrefutable. Meanwhile, the city's anxiety grew. Emily's disappearance dominated news cycles. People feared for their loved ones. Local police officers conducted patrols near Emily's usual routes. But the shadow of fear remained. Detective Leland, working late nights, pored over maps, GPS logs, and surveillance tapes. He reconstructed every step of Emily's last day, searching for the exact moment the stalker made contact. Weeks passed with no breakthrough. False leads brought investigators to dead ends. Suspicious ex-boyfriends, former colleagues, strangers spotted near her apartment, and every time hope rose and fell. leaving Emily's friends and family in nothing but torment. But then, a minor detail surfaced. A GPS tracker embedded in Emily's car. It had been transmitting signals from a storage unit on the city's outskirts. Detectives prepared to raid it. Their hearts were pounding. Inside the unit, they found Emily, alive, frightened, but unharmed. Daniel had kept her under surveillance, isolating her from the world, orchestrating a plan to control, not harm her. With Emily now rescued, the focus turned to Daniel. Police discovered hidden cameras, monitoring devices, and digital records proving the meticulous surveillance. His obsession had grown into a carefully controlled cage, and Emily had been trapped inside it without realizing. In court, a story unfolded like a thriller. Manipulation, digital intrusion, obsession escalating into terror. Daniel K. was convicted on multiple counts of stalking, illegal surveillance, and harassment. Emily's life slowly returned to normal. The city, shaken, became more vigilant. Emily resumed her work, stronger and wiser, carrying the weight of what had happened but refusing to let it define her. Detective Leland, reflecting on the case, noted how ordinary routines could hide extraordinary dangers. Emily's survival was a testament to courage and perseverance, a reminder that awareness and resilience counter even the most meticulous threats. True crime stories remind us of the fragility of safety, the shadows lurking in ordinary life, and the strength required to face them. Emily Hartman's story is one of survival, courage, and the invisible dangers that sometimes follow us, unnoticed until it's almost too late.